JBL and the Undertaker are here next, and they're going to go 17 minutes and 37 seconds. Look at this tail of the tape. I used to like when you guys would do this. 6'10" versus 6'6", 305 pounds versus 297 pounds. The Tombstone Pile Driver versus the Clothesline from Hell. But maybe my favorite, the Undertaker's from Death Valley and JBL's from New York City. Hey, we're going to talk about the match, but I got to ask. I don't think a lot of people had it on their bingo card that they'd ever see JBL at a wrestling show other than a WWE show. But this past weekend at TripleMania in Mexico, John Layfield walked Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, down to the ring. What'd you make of this? JBL outside the tent in AAA in Mexico? Goodness gracious.
Yeah, why not? I mean, really, why not? John's still keeping his toe in the water. He's a WWE guy through and through, no matter where he might appear. I think since Triple H is running that company, he's been a lot more, lot easier to work with than Vince was. There's no way in hell Vince would have endorsed JBL to be involved in another promotion's major event with an ex-talent, ex-WWE star like Nick Nemeth. I remember when Jerry Briscoe got him recruited, and he never let us down. My God, the good matches this guy had. If anything, Nick didn't get the credit that he deserved for the consistent main event level work that he did. But I was surprised to see that. But I'm happy for John. Why not, man? Enjoy. That's what he does. It's his living, and it's his passion. So I was surprised to see that, Conrad. To be honest with you, like you said, it kind of came out of the blue, and it just seems like sometimes that we live in a different world with AAA and so forth. They're a unique company, and they do a nice job of strategically using outside talents, and there's a gift to that.
This is the era where JBL has really moved into his own. We've created this JBL character. It's hard to believe that was 20 years ago. And now that we've got the belt off Eddie Guerrero, I know that the Undertaker was a big fan of the JBL character and the presentation, but I don't think the fans that night in Toronto were into it. It felt like they were paying almost no attention to the match. But we're going to see kind of a fun deal where in the post match, because it is a DQ, Undertaker is going to beat John Layfield all the way back down to where he made the big entrance in the big white limo. And then the big move post match is a choke slam through the roof of the limousine. When I say through it, I mean through it. They gimmicked it and down goes Layfield. So you're sending fans home with a DQ. The heel retains, but in the post match, the babyface gets the big moment of choke slamming the heel. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Didn't have a problem with it. Are you saying that you have a problem that Undertaker didn't win cleanly?
Oh, no, not at all. I just think I like the idea of the baby face getting his heat back, so to speak, is a phrase I think that's used in the business. But I like sending fans home happy. So if we really wanted to see JBL lose, well, he maybe retained the belt, but boy, he lost the battle when his ass got choke slammed through a doggone limo.
Yeah,
right?
That gave the people what they wanted to see.
That's right.
And that, at the end of the day, that's always should be a booker, a creative person's goal. Provide the fans with what they want to see. And to see JBL get, butchered and cut up was that was the deal. Undertaker has to look strong. He did. There was a big spot, had to be a big spot, and there was. So how the tally ended up being who was going to get the 1, 2, 3 and all that crap, I don't see it being a big issue. I think those guys had decent chemistry. They liked each other. They're Texas guys. So I'm and it was an interesting time. It was a developmental time for JBL. He was learning on the job. He's a smart guy, understood the business. He was very motivated. Like many of the boys, he was extremely motivated by cash or the potential thereof of making more cash. And Undertaker, of course, is the Undertaker. He's our Lou Gehrig. There's nobody any more special or unique than Mark Calloway at his portrayal of the Undertaker. It's a match made in hell in a good way.
Was it too soon, do you think, for the JBL character? I mean, I really love John Layfield in real life, and I know that some people online who've never met him have a predisposition about things they've read or they've heard. I would just encourage you, just meet the guy before you make a decision.
Yeah.
But
he's a Texan, Conrad. You know that, right?
Yeah, so he sucks. I get that.
Yeah.
But let's just table all that for a minute. He has been an enhancement talent. I mean, he was an undercard guy and then a mid card guy, and then he became a big part of the APA, but they were more of an attraction. Yes, they had title matches and all that, but he's kind of felt like he was a guy on the roster, but not necessarily a main event type guy. That's not the way he's been positioned. And now we create this new JBL character and we're trying to get him there. So I could see how, on the one hand, hey, let's give him some credibility with a really established talent like The Undertaker. But at the same time, I'm wondering, was that really playing to his strengths as an in-ring performer? Should we have had a smaller in stature guy that he can bully around and he can be the bigger body and pick up some dominating wins before we get to The Undertaker? Or I just felt like there was a lot of stops and starts when we're first establishing JBL. Like, I loved his stuff with Eddie Guerrero, but the stuff with Undertaker, maybe it felt like it was too soon for me. Where do you land on that?
I didn't think it was too soon, personally. It's a part of the developmental concept of building a talent and adding credibility as you go along. And in order to do all those things, it's got to be done in a very judicious, deliberate way. And we were still working on John's character, and John was developing the JBL persona. And those guys, I thought they had a solid match without question, but it's all in the process of trying to continue to establish JBL as a main player. And I think we did that. I think all combined did that. John had a big hand in his own creative. He's a smart guy, as I said, and he knew what he could do and what he couldn't do, what his strengths were. He played to his strengths. And like I said, the only negative I can think about John is his Texan. And he don't let you forget it either, by God.